Lena Thompson had always found peace in painting. Ever since she was little, she loved creating worlds with color, capturing emotions that words couldn't express. But at 16, her passion for art took on a new meaning. It became her lifeline. Lena had been diagnosed with leukemia 6 months earlier. The doctors were hopeful, but the treatment was brutal. Chemotherapy drained her energy, and worse, it drained her family's finances. The medical bills piled up faster than they could manage, and insurance barely covered half of it. Lena saw the stress on her mother's face, the quiet sacrifices her father made, skipping meals, working overtime, pretending everything was fine. She couldn't just sit by and watch. If her body was fighting for her life, she had to fight in every way she could. That's when she had an idea: sell her paintings to help fund her treatment. She spent weeks working on her collection, pouring her soul onto the canvas. Each brushstroke carried her fears, her hopes, and the silent promise that she wouldn't give up. Once she had enough paintings, she set up a small art stand on the corner of a busy Los Angeles street. She had no idea her life was about to change forever. Lena's first day on the sidewalk was harder than she expected. People walked by, some throwing curious glances, but few stopped. She had a handwritten sign that read, "Selling artwork to help pay for chemotherapy," but most ignored it. A businessman in a tailored suit glanced at her stand, but kept walking. A woman in yoga pants stopped for a second, smiled sadly, then left. Hours passed, and only one kind elderly couple bought a painting for $50. It was something, but nowhere near enough. By the third day, Lena was exhausted. The sun was relentless, and the long hours on her feet took a toll on her already weakened body. Still, she refused to quit. If her art could help even a little, it was worth it. Then, something unexpected happened. A young journalist named Rachel Carter stopped by, intrigued by Lena's story. She snapped a few pictures, asked her some questions, and promised to share her story. Lena thanked her but didn't expect much. The next morning, everything changed. Rachel's article spread like wildfire. Thousands of people shared it online, touched by Lena's determination. Strangers started showing up at her stand, eager to support her. A local artist donated canvases. A mother brought her son to buy a painting, telling Lena she was an inspiration. A man anonymously left an envelope with $500, tucked under one of her paintings. For the first time in months, Lena felt hope. But the biggest surprise came a week later. A tall man in a casual jacket and sunglasses stopped at her stand. He took his time examining the paintings, running his fingers along the edges, studying each one as if they held secrets only he could see. Then he spoke. "This one," he said, pointing at a painting of a lonely road stretching into a desert sunset. "Tell me about it." Lena hesitated. "It's about finding your way," she said softly, "even when you don't know what's ahead." The man nodded, taking off his sunglasses. That's when Lena recognized him. It was Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks smiled warmly. "It's beautiful," he said, "and so is what you're doing here." Then, he pulled out his checkbook and wrote a number Lena couldn't believe. $100,000. Her hands trembled as she took the check. I can't take this," she stammered. "It's not charity," Tom said. "I'm buying your art because it speaks to me, and because I believe in you." Tears welled up in Lena's eyes. She had spent months worrying about how to survive, about how her family would manage. And in one moment, a kind-hearted stranger had lifted that weight from her shoulders. But that wasn't all. By the next day, news outlets picked up the story. People all over the country wanted to support her. Orders flooded in for her artwork. A gallery in New York offered to feature her work. And to top it all off, Tom Hanks invited her family to attend a charity gala in her honor. A month later, Lena walked into her final chemotherapy session knowing that not only were her bills paid, but she had a future filled with opportunity. Lena Thompson's story became more than just a viral sensation. It became proof of how a single act of kindness could change everything. Tom Hanks didn't just buy a painting, he gave hope. The journalist didn't just write an article. She started a movement. And Lena didn't just sell her art. She inspired thousands to believe in the power of resilience and generosity. Months later, a gallery in Los Angeles held an exhibition for Lena's work. Among the guests was Tom Hanks himself. He stood in front of that same desert painting and smiled. "Still finding your way?" he asked. Lena grinned. "Yeah. But now, I know I'll never be alone on the journey." This story is a reminder that kindness matters. It costs nothing to show compassion, to support those in need, and to believe in someone's dreams. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from. And remember, sometimes the smallest act of kindness can lead to the biggest miracles.